Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers. And if you know anything about National Indoor RV Centers, you know that our mission is to revolutionize the RV industry. Today, we're going to talk about third-party inspectors, and my guest here is Brett Davis, our founder and CEO of National Indoor RV Centers. So welcome, Brett. I'm sure you all recognize him from his many videos.
Oh, gosh. We can't all be Angie's.
So Brett, what are your feelings on third-party inspectors before a customer of ours takes delivery?
As you know, I've always been in favor of third-party inspectors. From the customer standpoint, these are homes on wheels. They cost every bit as much as a house. Very few, if any, people purchase a home without an inspection. I would want one if I were purchasing a coach. As a dealer, I'm all in favor of it because I want someone checking the checker. We take a lot of pride in our PDIs, our pre-delivery inspections, as do the technicians who perform them. Now, I like the thought of someone checking up on our technicians. The RV inspectors that I find of greatest value are the handful who have been able to identify something that our inspectors missed. Now, just from ongoing operations, we sell 3 different types of motorhomes, if you will. We have a large consignment business, and I love third-party inspectors for our consignment business. It gives comfort to the purchaser, and it takes us out of the middle with the consignor.
Right.
It eliminates them thinking that National Indoor RV Centers is making our money in the shop by finding a whole bunch of issues. It puts that to bed for both the consignor and the purchaser. Used coaches that we have taken in on trade. As you well know, we're in the business of customers for life. I like having third-party inspectors on our used coaches. Now, that doesn't mean that we are lax when it comes to used coaches. After all, it's our capital. We did purchase that coach, and we go to the best lengths possible to ensure that before we purchase a coach, that we're getting a good coach. Then add to that our pre-delivery inspection, and then once again, a checker checking the checkers to make sure that we are delivering the best possible coach we can. Now, when it comes to new coaches, seen a lot more people wanting inspections on new coaches, which I would not discourage.
Maybe not as necessary.
I've been doing this for, goodness gracious, 39 years. A used coach, I'd absolutely want one. On a new coach, you've got a 1-year factory warranty. So if anything is missed during our pre-delivery inspection, the purchaser still is not going to be coming out of pocket for that repair should they find it during the course of their 1-year factory warranty, or in some cases, 2-year factory warranty. When it comes to new coaches, as you well know, we do thousands of PDIs a year. Technicians become very accustomed what to look for with certain manufacturers, certain models. They become very proficient at inspecting these coaches. And they go into a lot more detail than most third-party inspectors can. For example, they put these coaches up on a lift. No third-party inspector is going to be putting a coach up on the lift.
No.
So if I were a consumer, I think it's a must for consignments. I think it's a must for used coaches. And then it's just buyer's choice. If it gives them a comfort level on a new coach, by all means, do it.
Right.
I personally, given the cost of these units, if I have a 1-year factory warranty, I'm going to save the money on the inspection and rely on the factory warranty. For the past, 35 years or so, I have purchased a new car every 10 years, whether I needed it or not. But in my younger years, I purchased several used cars. And I never purchased a used car without taking it over to Mr. Gray, who owned the Sinclair service station on the corner, to have him inspect the car and let me know if it was a good car to purchase or not. However, I have purchased far more new cars in my lifetime than I have used, and I have never, not one time, asked the dealer if I could take their new car and drive it over to my trusted mechanic for an inspection. If I have faith in my dealer's ability to perform a pre-delivery inspection and then to make all necessary repairs, I would be more comfortable relying on the factory warranty for whatever the dealer may have missed. Because one thing is for sure, all coaches break if you use them, and yes, they break even more if you don't. So, you will have a list of issues during your shakedown over your first year, and your factory warranty will address any items missed by your dealer. But if you don't have faith in your dealer, then personally, I would save the money on a third-party inspection, plus the cost of their travel expenses, and I would simply apply the money towards the cost of a factory delivery or apply it towards a good extended service plan.
Right, and then I would say that with each third-party inspector, there's a big variance on the quality of their inspection, depending on their expertise, their experience. You know, if they were previously a technician, then I'd say that's probably the best third-party inspector you could find, because they actually know how to fix the problem that they're finding and identify it, not just picture takers.
I think you hit the nail on the head. The whole reason for this video, this public service announcement, if you will, it reminds me of real estate agents in the early 70s. Everybody was becoming a real estate agent. We've hit that point now where everybody's becoming an RV inspector. At the rate it's going, we're going to have more inspectors than purchasers of Class A diesel motorhomes. No, quality does matter, and there's a lot of red flags. If they're not insured or bonded, that's a red flag for me. If they don't have manufacturer or component certifications, that's a red flag to me. If they're not test driving the unit during their inspection, that's a red flag. If they're not hooking up to city water, that's a red flag. If there are dozens and dozens and hundreds of pages of pictures, massive red flag. That's just, as I said, camouflaging the lack of substance. YouTube inspectors are another red flag for me. What is the coach buyer really paying for? Having watched more third-party inspection videos than I care to count, it's very obvious coach buyers are funding the content, views, subscribes, and likes of the third-party inspector's YouTube channel, which these third-party inspector YouTube channels are always monetized. But the real injustice of these YouTube inspectors is they are the only winners. They get paid by an unsuspecting coach buyer for an inspection motivated by the financial gain of the inspectors. At the end of the video, whether the coach is still owned by the consignor or the buyer purchases the coach, the fact still remains. The value of the coach has been permanently and adversely affected by the video. Whichever party ends up owning the coach, the consignor or the buyer, neither one of them bargained to have the value of the inspected coach diminished. But the third-party inspector did profit from their inspection report and their YouTube channel. Bottom line, it will always be a win-win for YouTube inspectors and a lose-lose for the consignor or the purchaser. The biggest red flag to me is just we're seeing the interest with a lot of these RV inspectors being adverse to the interests of the coach buyer. The coach buyer is trusting and believing that the inspector is working in his or her best interest in inspecting a coach. Yet, being in the industry, as you well know, those interests are adverse. You have inspectors who are trying to get paid from the manufacturer in addition to the coach purchaser. That's just not ethical. It's a double dip. It's misrepresenting to the purchaser what their real intent is. And as we mentioned earlier, on a brand new coach with a 1-year warranty, why would an inspector be looking or have their hand out from the manufacturer? A picture's worth 1,000 words, and maybe here in a minute or two we can go into some of these red flags.
That we've personally experienced, right?
That we have experienced, but I'm sure that our customer and our dealership are not alone in having experienced this, which is the whole intent behind this video. We want this to be a public service announcement. And to that end, just like we made our defects per unit, our DPUs, public on our website, and just like we'll be making our warranty ratings public here in the very near future, and then following that, our database of what coaches sell for relative to book value in the used market, all to try and help the consumer of these very expensive machines make a more informed decision. Just felt it was time, which we will be doing, is putting on our website the RV inspectors that we feel are competent, that have been on our properties over the years.
That are insured.
That are insured, meet all those criteria. And to your earlier point, you know the RV inspectors I favor. They're former RV technicians.
Right.
Those inspectors, in my mind, are worth their weight in gold.
Absolutely.
But an RV inspector that has no manufacturer certifications, no component certifications, hasn't been an RV technician, right off the bat, I'd be very dubious. So no, we'll be putting on our website, and probably by the time this video is edited and live, the inspectors we have found to be credible, as well as, just for our own operational efficiencies, third-party inspectors who are not permitted on our properties to do third-party inspections, just to protect our customers.
Absolutely. Save them the money for what really matters.
Help them avoid, for lack of a better word, con artists, and steer them towards RV inspectors who really do provide a quality inspection that's valuable to both them and to us.
Absolutely. So I think it might be helpful to our audience to kind of walk them through what typically happens when a new coach arrives at National Indoor RV Centers. Unfortunately, they do not show up ready for the customer to see. So I've had lots of customers over the years that say, let me know as soon as it hits the ground. And I'm like, oh no, that's the worst time. It comes in dirty. It's not clean on the outside or the inside, and it's not ready for them to see. When you're making this kind of a purchase, I want you to see it blue bowed, ready to go, and in pristine condition.
I think most motorhome buyers, I was in that category years ago, don't have an understanding of what really happens once a coach leaves the manufacturer. Coaches come into us, given our locations anywhere from 900 miles to 1,900 miles. Well, right off the bat, when you drive a brand new coach that distance, I think that's a pretty good shakedown run.
Absolutely.
Consequently, when they do arrive, I've always viewed us as the last 100 feet of the manufacturing process. Things do happen in transit with every coach. But as soon as it lands, the first thing we do is what's known in the industry as a DAF. That's the dealer acceptance form. And in National Indoor RV Center's case, when that coach lands, somebody from Paint and Body is going down our checklist and against our paint specifications on the exterior.
So we wash the exterior so they can see those things, correct?
That's the only thing that gets washed.
Right.
And it's not a detail. It's to get all of the road film from the travel off so that they can put it under light and identify any paint imperfections that need correcting. Then a technician or more will inspect the house. And I say a technician or more because they specialize audio-visual, heating, plumbing, etc. They create that DAF report, and then as a dealer, once we have done that, we will sign the form accepting the unit. That form goes back to the manufacturer that lets them know everything that we identified on arrival. But after the DAF inspection, it then goes into what we call our PDI, which is a pre-delivery inspection. Now that's a much more in-depth inspection. That is 10 hours of just inspecting. We're inspecting at National Indoor, off the exact same list at all of our locations. It's electronic, It's 94 items, systems. So 10 hours of inspecting. Once they're done inspecting, everything that needs to be repaired or replaced is submitted to the manufacturer for warranty authorizations or approval. Once we receive the warranty authorizations or approval, we can then order any parts that we don't already have in stock. Once all the parts are in, everything we identified is repaired or replaced. And then and only then, once all of our technicians are out of that coach, then we do a complete interior and exterior detail. As you know, we like to do that the day before delivery. And I don't need to tell you about the blue bow and the blue carpet, because
it's a must. If you don't get the blue bow experience with National Indoor RV Centers, let me know.
She's a lot meaner than she looks, believe me. Our RV lifestyle specialists know that if anyone misses that blue bow experience, they are back charged their entire commission once Angie finds out about it. So, no, we do take great pride on delivery day. It's a big day, very big day in the lives of our customers, as it is for us. So no, that is the process from the dealer acceptance form and inspection to the pre-delivery inspection to all of the parts and repairs, ending with an interior and exterior detail.
So Brett, you said that a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yes. And a video is worth several thousand words.
Well, let's go ahead and get someone that we know and love on video. Jace, one of our shop managers, is going to join us today. He recently had experience checking in a brand new coach from the manufacturer. Hey Jace, how you doing today?
Doing very good, Angie. Thank you.
I like having you on the spotlight.
Yeah.
We wanted to visit with you a little bit about stock number 12279 that recently came in. Can you let us know what date that actually arrived at National Indoor RV Centers?
So the delivery driver dropped it off November 21st, about midday.
What day did you do the dealer acceptance form?
November 21st.
Okay. And when was this scheduled to deliver to the customer?
Now, the customer was due to pick it up December 23rd. That was his Blue Bow day.
Okay, so a little over a month. All right, I assume right after the DAF, you did our pre-delivery inspection?
Yep, that's right after that Friday. We checked it in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday through the shop. And those dates were November 25th, 26th, and the 27th.
How many hours did you put into inspecting just the house?
Roughly 12 hours, so a good hard 2 days.
And then how much more time did you put into inspecting the chassis?
For the chassis inspection and the road test is a half a day for that Wednesday.
And just to clarify, Jace, the PDI is identifying the issues that you found, not necessarily repairing those. Then we can start the parts ordering, correct?
Correct, yes. There's a lot that goes in. A full house inspection has to be done, and not only that, pictures and parts requests.
So I assume that between warranty authorization, shipment of parts, and repairs, that you guys probably finished up that coach just prior to their delivery?
Yes, sir. Yeah, December 23rd, we put the final touches on. It was that morning, and then we set it up for removal. So we were cutting that line there right at the 23rd.
Okay, and as a matter of policy, we don't detail these coaches inside and out until after all the technicians are done with their work and repairs.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. We only do a really light wash during the DAF part, so body shop can inspect for any scratches or paint corrections that need to be done prior to pickup.
Now, as to the inspections, I'd like to compare and contrast the two inspections, if I may. You and your team did the pre-delivery inspection before the third-party inspector did theirs.
Yes, sir.
And for the house, how many issues did you identify?
We found 19 items that needed to be addressed.
Okay, and for the exterior,
Body shop found 17 paint corrections that needed to be done.
Okay, and the third-party inspector found a total of how many items?
8 mechanical issues with the coach. 4 of them were reasonable items. The other 4 did not need to be addressed at all. They were just a visual issue with the inspector.
Okay, meaning neither the customer nor you felt those remaining 4 items were any issues.
And we didn't address them at all either. I addressed it with the customer, just telling them how it works, but they were not addressed at the shop.
And as coaches, I mean, where you're located, every coach comes in with approximately 1,900 miles on it, give or take a few. Given that, I assume the range of issues on a coach, depending on weather, roads, etc. I'm assuming you see coaches with a lot fewer issues, and you see coaches with more issues, just depending on how that shakedown run went from the manufacturer to us.
Right, yep.
So Jace, if you have a few more minutes, I'd love to review the video from the third-party inspectors, their video, with you online.
Absolutely, Andrew.
The purpose of the video is to show you that even if you're thinking of buying a brand spanking new 2025, a week old, just came in 1,900 miles later, you're coming here to picking this up. And by the way, the salesman told me, this has been clean. Then we walk inside and he says, well, it's been PDI clean, now my clean crew's gonna come in here. I'd like to understand what's the difference between PDI clean and cleaning crew. Maybe it is 2 different departments, totally. So I don't know, when the garbage are on top of everything, how the PDI people were able to look and go through things.
Oh, hold on. My first glimpse right here. This is dirty. Now, I know it's light leather, but this is a 2025. And then just come over here too at the same time on this seat here. And then don't even say nothing about the floors. Okay, so this has already been PDI'd for us. Let's go in here to the stow and go. Oh, wow, look at all this stuff. Now, if this has been PDI'd, I'm not sure who did it, but they left all the junk and it's filthy. Well, I'll just continue cleaning until it's time to actually start my inspection. I love cleaning before I work. Tell me in the comments below, do you think they did a PDI on this?
I just want to ask you about a few things that, to me, the inspectors seem to be majoring in the minors, if you will. Several times throughout this coach, they spent considerable time talking about how dirty this coach was, that it had already been PDI'd and was ready for delivery. Yet, we had not made any of those repairs, nor had we washed or detailed it before they set foot in that coach. Is that correct?
That is right, yep.
And I know that in the video, as well as the first point in the report, they talked about how the collision mitigation warning light on the dash wouldn't go off, that it stayed on perpetually.
Anti-avoidance collision like we have in this one is lit up. The ATC light is lit up too. Okay, don't tell me that on 1,900 miles there's so many little problems that racked up into this.
Would the fact that their Jeep was parked in front of the coach keep that light on for as long as they kept their Jeep parked in front of the coach?
It will, yeah. It's showing an object in front of their coach, so it's going to light off.
Okay, so as soon as the coach didn't have their Jeep in front of it, the light went off as designed.
Yeah, we've never had an issue with that collision mitigation system.
From the top end of the slide out, as you can see, we got shaving, metal shaving all over the place and on all slide out.
Okay, so let's talk about these gorgeous floors. Now, yes, they are absolutely filthy. But not only are they filthy, but we have slide roller marks here in front of the couch, all the way to the end by the refrigerator. So here's one right here, and then another one over here by the fridge. And then when we go into the bedroom, we have a massive pile of metal shavings right there. So this is how the PDI was done in here, but the slide roller marks, that's something more to be concerning.
I'd like to address not just, obviously, we know how dirty these coaches come in, but the metal shavings. Is that common or uncommon?
Yes, it's an absolutely normal part of that slide system to do that for initial install. We do clean those shavings up when it arrives at the dealer.
You also got to remember, somebody drove this from there to here, so 1,900 miles, and I don't know what they backed into, but just to give you an idea, this Mudflap, you can look at this, how destroyed and distorted, what happened to it. So wherever, in whatever curb they jumped after, they took care of that one.
Both you and the third-party inspector, one of their 4 items was the Mudflap. Is that pretty common to see coaches coming from the factory where the Mudflap has been damaged during transit?
It's very common, yes.
Did the manufacturer balk at all at replacing it?
Not at all.
Again, the manufacturer doesn't put the tires on these coaches. Chassis manufacturer does. But in this case, did the manufacturers balk at authorizing replacing those tires?
No, instant approvals.
From your inspection, what were some of the major standout items that you caught, either on the test drive, which the third-party inspector didn't do, or when you put the coach up on the lift, which your third-party inspector doesn't do?
The major issues was the grout that the inspector didn't catch. We had some faulty grout through the floor and the shower walls, which could have prevented a water leak in the future. That was one of the major things that we caught and the inspector didn't catch.
And I assume no issue with the manufacturer approving, fixing, or repairing that?
Not at all.
Why don't they took care of delivering quality before and trying to sneak out things to the consumer without any knowledge? It's kind of shady for me. For instance, this slide out, do you remember this wasn't aligned? This is out of whack. We got a lot of issues in here. From the sound of it, maybe you can be the judge of that. All right, so here's the slide out that we're talking about inside here. Try this out.
In that video, he addresses the slides, but Jace, those slides were not anything to worry about, were they?
I adjusted no slide outs. We did have a chain issue on the passenger side front slide. It was louder than normal. It was because when it was coming in, it was going at an angle. That was a very easy adjustment on the slide ram itself, and the inside slide ram. After we took care of that and did some facial work on it, and everything worked out great.
Okay, let's take a look at what I believe is the only positive thing these inspectors had to say.
Have I found anything major in here today? No. And I did all my water. No leaks at all, which is fantastic.
My question here is, how would she know? As you can see from their inspection report, they say the facility didn't offer a city water connection. Testing was only performed with water pump system. We recommend testing the system on city water connection before leaving the premises. When it comes to inspecting a coach, one of the most critical systems to test is the water system. You want to test water pressure, you want to test for leaks, and I will submit to you the only way you can do this test is by hooking up to city water. What troubles me even more is, as many of you know, at all of our facilities, every square inch is videoed. And when I reviewed the video, of the inspectors on our premises, not only did I see and heard our people showing them where city water hookups were throughout our facility. They simply chose not to go to the effort of hooking it up. Unfortunately, this is consistent with their entire report when I juxtapose it to our pre-delivery inspection.
So in order to be able to lift this, let's find a cheaper way and a quicker way. Instead of moving my roller to make it adjustable where it should have been. Come up here. Like we've seen before on other rigs, where you remember they put a piece of fiber to up this corner? Here it is. They just slapped a piece of whatever on there to make it look nice. Wow. You excited? I'm not.
But he makes a big deal on the passenger side slide out underneath with some shims that he thinks is shady.
Is that normal? Explain that.
It has been normal for that type of unit in the past. So that ABS plastic was bent. It was installed correctly. It was just bent. We installed a bigger plate, an 8 by 16-inch plate under there. What that does is when that roller comes in, that slide out comes in all the way, what we've seen on that type of unit is that driving down the road, it's just too heavy for that slide bottom, and it causes a wear from the slide roller. So what the manufacturer does is they install that ABS plate to keep the kind of like a load-bearing plate to keep the looks of that bottom slide out better. And that's all it was. It was nothing shady. Matter of fact, me and the tech took it out and ran the slide out in and out, and the slide adjustment stayed exactly the same. Nothing was shady about it.
And as I'm going and inspecting at the bottom of this, I've got a fluid leaking somewhere. So if somebody didn't see or didn't look for fluid, well, maybe somebody should be in charge of the mechanical side of the unit, because this is kind of basic, disappointed, but if this needs to go back to Freightliner, the day you thought you were picking it up, it's not happening.
I know that the third-party inspector, to get to the fourth item, identified some fluids in the engine. Is it common or uncommon for the chassis manufacturers to overfill fluids?
It's not very common at all to overfill those fluids. Underfill the fluids, yes, but overfill, no.
And in this case?
It's very uncommon.
It was uncommon, but it was just overfilled. Once drained
and cleaned up, for a week of testing, no leaks.
Jason, the third-party inspector makes a statement that we do a lot of inspecting here, but inspecting what, he has no idea.
Because I know they spend a lot of time inspecting here, which I don't know what they inspected on this. And I'm going to say this again for people who weren't there or didn't follow. When I walked in with a salesperson, he said, yes, this has been PDI'd.
Can you add some color to that?
Yeah, absolutely. After the 18 hours of house and chassis inspections, we do have to provide photos, documentation of the items that need to be addressed from the manufacturer. From there was a holiday right after that, and then Friday the inspector came. We do not supply a list to the inspector. We do like having inspectors on the lot to kind of back our house side up. It really helps find another set of eyes to find other items. So third-party inspectors are welcome on the lot, and they do very good here. In this case, we have only had 3 weeks to deliver the coach, 4 weeks to deliver the coach. In that time, we do seek approvals and parts requests in that 3 weeks. So that inspector did come in the start of our process and didn't find anything that we found to help out this customer with this coach.
That was my impression as well, Jay. So your 18 hours of pre-delivery inspection concluded on the eve of Thanksgiving, that Wednesday evening, and the third-party inspector showed up on Friday and inspected the unit for approximately 6 hours. But that was all before warranty authorizations, parts, and repairs were started.
And I'd like to add, they probably spent a few hours working on their video.
Yeah, most likely. All right, Brett and Angie, as you can see from this video here, This is the day of our Blue Bow process. This is where our wash and detail team came in, cleans up the coaches. All our coaches, every coach is done the same way as you see this, as you see it in this video here. This is not a one-off. This is how they are all done. And this is the customer's expectations when they get here.
Thank you, Jace. No, I think our customers we're known for and they've come to expect that Blue Bow Day delivery. Maybe for the viewers, just for fun, what was your career before you were an RV technician?
My highlights were in baseball. Did do some baseball.
Yeah, no, Jace was a professional baseball player. What position?
Shortstop.
Nice.
Well, there you have it.
Jace, thanks so much for your time and stepping away from your daily duties to be with us and kind of walk us through this third-party inspection.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jace. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
I think to wrap up this video on third-party inspectors, it would be helpful to go over the last red flag that I referred to earlier, which is a third-party inspector's interests not being aligned with the purchaser, or in other words, adverse.
And by the way, whoever wants to be endorsed into this venture, in this life of RV inspection, make sure to reach out, go to our website, check the endorse section.
If you like videos like this, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share with your friends. Don't forget to leave us a comment, C4BO, comment for Blue Ox.
When I say coach buyers and third-party inspectors' interests can be adverse, the questions I'm really asking are, is the coach buyer paying for a competent inspection where the inspector has only their best interest at heart? Or are they really paying for or funding the content of the third-party inspector who then uses it to shake down manufacturers or to get views, likes, and subscribes to profit from their YouTube channel? Or are they trying to use it to sign up a bunch of inspectors underneath them that they can make a royalty on? Or, in this case, are they doing all of the above? A little bit of a timeline here is the email we're going to share with you was sent by this third-party inspector to the manufacturer on November 15th. As you will see in this email, he is praising the quality. In fact, the exceptional quality of this manufacturer. But somehow just 2 weeks later, by November 29th, he is trashing this manufacturer because they didn't agree to pay them to do videos for them. My problem with this is you cannot serve two masters. You're either representing the coach buyer or you're representing the manufacturer. Angie, you read better than I do because I don't have my glasses here.
Happy to. All right, dear manufacturer, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to follow up on our previous discussions regarding collaboration. As you know, we've sent over 2 videos designed to highlight the exceptional quality and service of your department, with the aim of positively influencing the public perception of your brand. We remain highly interested in publishing these videos, as well as creating additional content. I want to clarify that we are not seeking sponsorship or commission-based compensation as mentioned earlier, which I understand can sometimes place both parties in a precarious position. Instead, we propose a straightforward arrangement where we would receive a fixed price per video for promoting or inspecting your brand. Our media influence, particularly through YouTube platform, continues to drive significant attention to both new and used buyers year-round. The exposure we provide is invaluable in helping elevate your image within the industry.
We started off with a picture's worth 1,000 words. I think with just this one inspection from just one RV inspector, we've highlighted all the red flags for folks out there who are looking to purchase a coach and want an honest RV inspection. You now know the red flags to look for, the questions to ask, And we appreciate your time and interest in watching this video.
I hope you found this video informative as we continue to bring transparency to the RV industry. To learn more, go to the Learn tab on NIRVC's website. There you will find the list of third-party inspectors that we permit to do inspections and those we do not. Thanks so much for watching and have a fabulous day.